This is the story of a case that shook the foundations of the Philippine National Police in the early 90s, a case of who guards the guards. Involving cold-blooded murder, a jailbreak facilitated by negligence, and a high-stakes legal battle over jurisdiction. Know the story only here at Case Closed. Juris Dr. Ph. Calapan, Oriental, Mindoro. January 8, 1991, 9:30 p.m. A man named Isagani Mazan is walking down J.P. Rizal Street. Suddenly, 4 men, all active members of the Philippine National Police, PNP, approach him. Without a word, they open fire. When the smoke cleared, Isagani was dead. He didn't just die. He was executed with 21 gunshot wounds. But the tragedy didn't end there. What followed was a scandalous display of warped camaraderie, where the police accused of murder were allowed to roam free, eventually staging a daring escape from custody. Today, we dive into People vs. Landicho and Manlusoc, a tale of betrayal, power, and the search for justice. The 4 accused were MGTT, Rinaldo Landicho, Pat Johnny Bunyi, C1C Eric Manlusoc, and C2C Levino Canuel. They were charged with murder. 2 eyewitnesses, Lillian Francisco and Herman Mexico Jr., told a terrifying story. They saw Bunyi and Manlusoc fire first. Then, Landicho and Canuel rushed in to finish the job. The necropsy report was staggering. 21 wounds. 7 were in the back. 14 were in the front, including 2 to the head. But here is where the story gets warped. Instead of being sent to a regular jail, the court, out of a sense of professional courtesy, allowed them to be detained at the PNP stockade under the custody of their own superiors. And what did they do with that trust? They went to lunch. They went to cockfights. They even took a boat to Batangas to solicit funds for their case. The victim's father, Pedro Mazan, kept writing to the judge, saying, "I see the killers of my son at the market. I see them at the cockfights." The police commanders denied it, until the day the cells were found empty. In May 1992, right as the trial was reaching its peak, all 4 accused escaped. They simply walked out the back door while the guards were serving lunch. Because they were gone, the defense had no evidence to present. The judge ruled that by escaping, they had waived their right to present evidence. In Philippine law, flight is an admission of guilt. Only one man, Eric Manlusoc, was rearrested just 5 days before the judgment was read. He became the only one who could legally appeal his conviction to the Supreme Court. This case brings us to 2 critical articles of the Revised Penal Code, RPC. Article 248, murder. The trial court found them guilty of murder because of treachery, alevosía, and abuse of superior strength. They were 4 armed police officers against 1 unarmed civilian. The qualifying circumstance, treachery. However, on appeal, the Solicitor General made a surprising move. They argued it should only be homicide, Article 249. Why? Because to prove treachery, the prosecution must show that the killers deliberately and consciously adopted a mode of attack to ensure the victim could unfight back. If the decision to kill was sudden, even if the victim was outnumbered, it might not technically be treachery under the letter of the law. The Supreme Court was furious. Justice David Jr. opened the decision with a famous quote, "But who is to guard the guards themselves?" The court looked at the rationale. Conspiracy. Even if we don't know which specific bullet from Manlusoc's gun killed Isagani, it doesn't matter. In a conspiracy, the act of one is the act of all. The evidence, 21 wounds, is not a police operation. It is an execution. The jurisdiction. The defense tried to argue that only the Sandigan Bayan could try them because they were public officers. The court shut this down, ruling that the regional trial court has full authority over PNP members involved in criminal cases. The Supreme Court upheld the conviction. Eric Manlusoc was sentenced to reclusion perpetua. The other 3? They remained at large, though warrants for their recapture were issued globally. This case stands as a stain on the honor of the PNP. It reminds us that no matter the rank, no one is above the law, and that the eyes of a grieving father are often more watchful than the bars of a cell. What do you think? Should police officers ever be allowed to be detained in police stockades instead of regular jails? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the justice system. Would you like me to cover the story of how the other three were eventually tracked down?